Snow drifted down in slow, silent sheets, softening the edges of the city and turning every sound into a whisper. The streets were nearly empty, except for the occasional car and the faint glow of shop windows closing early for the night. Inside a sleek black SUV sat Michael Hayes, one of the most successful CEOs in the city, but also one of the loneliest. His life was polished, scheduled, and painfully quiet. Since his wife had passed away 3 years ago, Michael had lived for one thing: his 6-year-old daughter, Emily. She was his light, his anchor, the one reason he still smiled at the end of each long day. They were driving home from Emily's school recital that night, her laughter filling the car as she clutched her little snowflake trophy. "Daddy, did you see how I danced?" she asked proudly. He smiled. "You were the brightest star on that stage, sweetheart." Emily giggled, leaning back against her seat. But as they stopped at a red light near the park, her laughter faded. She pressed her tiny hand to the cold window and whispered, "Daddy, look." Michael turned his head, and his heart clenched. There, under the shelter of a half-collapsed bus stop, sat a young woman wrapped in a tattered coat, cradling a small bundle in her arms. Her face was pale, her hair damp with melting snow. The baby in her arms wasn't crying, which scared Michael more than if it had been. The woman rocked the child slowly, her breath visible in the freezing air. Emily's voice broke the silence. "Daddy, her baby is freezing." Michael hesitated. He'd passed people like that before, people life had forgotten. He'd always told himself he couldn't help everyone. But now, hearing his daughter's trembling voice, something shifted. Without another thought, he pulled over. "Stay here, Emily," he said gently, taking off his coat. He stepped out into the cold, his shoes crunching on snow, and approached the woman carefully. "Ma'am," he said softly, "are you all right?" She looked up, startled. Her eyes were wide, desperate, scared, and weary. "Please," she whispered. "We just need a place to stay. My baby. He hasn't eaten since morning." Michael looked at the child, a tiny boy, maybe 6 months old, his lips slightly blue from the cold. He immediately took off his scarf and wrapped it around the baby. "You can't stay out here. Come with me." The woman shook her head weakly. "I don't want to cause trouble. I just needed to keep him warm." Michael's voice firmed with quiet authority. "You're not causing trouble. You're saving your baby." He led her to the car. When Emily saw the baby, she unbuckled her seatbelt instantly. "You can sit here, miss." "I'll sit in the front," she said with a determined little smile. The woman's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you, sweetheart." As they drove through the city, Michael caught glimpses of her face in the mirror. She looked far too young to carry so much pain. He finally asked, "What's your name?" "Lena," she whispered. "And this is Noah. Do you have somewhere to go?" She shook her head. "No, I used to have a job at a diner, but after they closed, I couldn't afford rent. I've been trying to find work, but no one wants to hire someone with a baby." Michael felt something tighten in his chest. He'd spent his life building companies, hiring thousands, firing hundreds, and yet he'd never stopped to see what happened to people once they were let go. When they arrived home, Emily ran ahead, turning on the fireplace and fetching blankets. "Daddy, we can help them, right?" Michael knelt beside her. "Yes, sweetheart, we can help." That night, Lena sat near the fire, holding baby Noah as warmth slowly returned to their skin. She kept thanking Michael, but he waved it off. "No thanks needed," he said. "Just rest." Emily brought over her favorite stuffed animal, a small bear named Mr. Fluffy, and placed it beside the baby. "He can borrow this until he feels better," she said with a shy grin. Lena smiled, tears glistening in her tired eyes. "You have a very special daughter." Michael looked at Emily, his heart swelling. "I know." Over the next few days, Lena and Noah stayed in the guest room. Michael arranged food, clothes, and even called his company's HR team quietly. He learned that Lena had a background in accounting. She'd once studied finance before life turned cruel. "Would you come work for me?" he asked one morning. She blinked, shocked. "You're serious?" He smiled. "Completely. You've already proven you don't give up easily. That's exactly the kind of person my company needs." Lena's lips trembled. "I don't know what to say." Say yes, Emily chimed in, giggling. Then you and baby Noah can stay forever. Everyone laughed, even Michael, who hadn't laughed like that in years. Weeks turned into months. Lena proved herself brilliant and kind, balancing her work and motherhood with quiet strength. Emily adored her, and baby Noah became like family. The house, once cold and silent, now echoed with laughter, toys, and the gentle hum of something Michael had long forgotten. Warmth. One snowy evening, almost a year after that night, Michael found himself standing by the same fireplace where Lena had first sat, watching her rock Noah to sleep. He stepped closer, his voice soft. You know, you changed more than your own life that night. Lena looked up, smiling faintly. You mean you and Emily? He nodded. Before you, I thought my heart was done healing. But you showed me that helping someone else can heal the parts of you that nothing else can. Lena's eyes filled with emotion. You saved me, Michael. He shook his head gently. No, you saved us. Just then, Emily came running in, holding a snowflake ornament she'd made. Look, Daddy, I made one for Miss Lena, too. Lena knelt, hugging her tightly. Thank you, Angel. Michael looked at them. The woman who had stumbled into his life, the child who had opened his heart, and the little boy who had taught him the value of compassion. That night, as snow fell quietly outside and the fire glowed warm within, Michael whispered a silent prayer of gratitude. Because sometimes miracles don't arrive with trumpets or angels. Sometimes they come as a whisper in the dark, a freezing baby at a bus stop, and a little girl's voice saying, Daddy, her baby is freezing. And that one moment of kindness became the beginning of a forever, not written in wealth but in love.